all of my expectations. From the moment that I walked in and saw the buffet table, and I want you to know that that buffet table was not catered. That was done by our people. They put it together, and it's an authentic Montenegrin table, with maybe some local delicacies in there as well. Ambassador Seferovic, Congresswoman Chikowski, Representative Harris, Consuls Chukovic and Elliott, members of the Chicago Consular Corps, members of the Rumija Cultural Center, friends and family. Prije svega znam da smo do sada govorili na engleskom jeziku, ali za tih starijih među nama želim vama dobru došlicu i zaista sam zahvalan što ste došli tu i podržavali. My plan was to tell a little bit of a story of how this evening came together and the discussions that took place between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Montenegro, the Rumija Cultural Center, and myself. This discussion began about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, but this night is not just 2 years in the making, it's 57 years in the making. It began with the first migration to Montenegro in 1962. There was a married couple who left a small village outside of a small town called Bar. That village is illustrated on these walls for those of you who've been here for the first time. And that couple goes by the name of Emro and Julia Pejkovic. They came here in 62, traveled across for a better opportunity, for a better life. And Emro is no longer with us. And I tried to get Julia to be with us this evening, and she couldn't make it. But she's in our spirits, because these people sent the word back about what a wonderful city Chicago is. And I can't imagine in their wildest dreams that when they came across here, that they would have expected that we'd have over 1,000 people in our community, like we do today. And probably even more than 1,000 people. They spread the word. Migration continued into the 70s. First generations of Americans were born, like myself. My father came here in 1970. My mom came here in 1973. This community prospered, it pushed, it became more and more successful. It worked hard. Rather than being employees, it became employers. Rather than being renters, they turned into property owners. They found success here. They lived the American dream. They educated their children, but they never lost touch with Montenegro, ever. My parents sent me back, I don't even know, countless times to visit when I was young. And that's where I gained my affinity and my love for the country that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. The center was established in the 90s when it was a very, very difficult time in Montenegro, some places even worse in former Yugoslavia. And there was a big wave of people that came over in the 1990s because of political and economic strife back in the home country. And a group of Montenegrins got together and they said, what are we going to do to preserve our heritage? And that's how this center was born. It was established in 1997. Now 22 years on, still thriving, still expanding, still growing. We've celebrated here, we've had weddings here, we've mourned people in the community who are no longer with us. It's a place, it's our community center. One of the best days that I could ever recall in this very room was May 21st, 2006, when by referendum Montenegro was elected to become a fully independent sovereign state. And I remember sitting somewhere probably near the bar, because I was not married at the time, so. And celebrating. And I remember looking across the crowd, people were dancing and singing, and wet flags were waving. Everybody was so proud. Nobody could believe that that day came. 13 years ago almost. And here we are. Here we are. Celebrating yet another milestone for this community, the opening of an honorary consulate of Montenegro. Who would have imagined this 20 years ago, people? Who would have imagined this? You know, when I watch sometimes, my children love to watch like awards shows and stuff, and you go up there and you see the people thanking everybody, and they're like, oh, I forgot somebody, and I know I'm going to forget somebody. I know I'm going to forget somebody. But I do want to express my gratitude to Congresswoman Schakowsky for sharing this moment with us. This room, we've hosted so many political figures from Montenegro. It's almost like a rite of passage. This center, Congresswoman, is very well known in Montenegro. Everybody knows the Rumija Cultural Center in Montenegro. I spent 5 years there as executive director of the American Chamber of Commerce, working on the bilateral relationship from that end. And when you mention Rumija, everybody in the country knows about this place. Everybody. It's an institution, a proud institution. And so I want to thank you for being the first public official from Chicago, even Representative Harris, that were able to share this moment with us tonight and while we're reaching this milestone. Thank you so much for being here. I need to thank the people at the Rumija Cultural Center and all of its members for being so supportive of this. You know, there was some doubt. Oh, the consulate's going to open. What's this going to mean? The government's going to take this over. What's going to happen? And then when we had that meeting a couple months ago, there was rousing support for it. It even surprised me. Rousing support for this concept. So Senate, I want to thank you. I want to thank your predecessors, Hasan Chobovic. I want to thank Seferovic, with whom this conversation first began. And I want to thank Seferovic as well, because you're facilitating the conversations. I want to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Kaljerovic, for your support and for being with us today. Ambassador Kaljerovic and I were neighbors in Podgorica. It's that small of a place. So. We lived in the same building where both my children were born and where my wife is from. I want to thank the City of Chicago, Jordan, and the Mayor's Office. Jordan, I'm so glad you mentioned, because I was going to mention that you were in Montenegro last year, so you took my thunder away, but I like the way that you put it. I want to thank the State of Illinois, the Illinois Attorney General's Office, Nettie Lasko. When I became, hey Nettie, when I became honorary consul formally about 2-3 years ago, she was the first one to approach me and show me where everybody is and what everybody does. It was like, oh, what does this mean? Who am I? Where is everything? Well, she was so supportive, and Nettie, I hope to continue working with you for many, many more years.
Thank you.
I want to thank the Chicago Consular Corps. We have an incredible group of people among the Chicago Consular Corps. I'm looking around this room, Consul General Achar, Consul General Adulovic, Consul General Vujeva. I know that there's more people out there, I can't spot you right now. But you've been extremely helpful and supportive of me. And you know, we've had conflicts, well-known conflicts in the Balkans, Congressman. I know you mentioned that. But I cannot tell you, with our neighboring countries here, the consulates, there's not a better relationship. When we go to these events, we all stick together and we're all at the same table and hanging out and having a great time. And so it's not as dangerous as it once was. And you know, among the last, and certainly not the least, I want to thank my mother and father. If they did not instill in me that I am Montenegrin and that I do have a heritage and that there's a place that I come, and if they didn't send me to Montenegro for free many summers, and if they didn't instill that 3 things, that an education is invaluable, that hard work is necessary, and that you must be honest with people, then I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And so I thank my mom and dad so much, and thank you for being here. wife asked me not to mention her because she gets really embarrassed when I speak in public. But I have to mention her. Alma, Daria, and Tara, my 2 daughters, and my wife. I love you girls. You're the reason I get up every day. You're the reason I'm living. You motivate me to no end. And so with that, I say let's launch this thing. Let's launch it, right? Let's get the ribbon out, let's get the scissors out. I want to invite Ambassador Kalijerovic, Mr. Perezic, Congresswoman Schakowsky, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the stage, and members of the board of Rumija as well, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the stage and helping me cut the ribbon so we can launch the consulate and so we can begin the party, right? Thank you so much.